Welcome to a deep dive. Today, we're cracking open a really powerful idea from the research shared with us, this concept of mindsets.
Yeah, it sounds simple, but it's essentially a core belief you hold about yourself.
And the material suggests it can really guide huge parts of your life, influence almost everything you do.
Exactly. Things you might just think of as your personality or, what's holding you back from fulfilling your potential.
Hmm.
A lot of that might actually grow out of this single belief.
Hmm. And this deep dive, it's based on research looking into these mindsets and their impact, well, everywhere, really.
That's right. School, sports, how businesses run, even our relationships, it permeates so much
So our mission today is to really dig into this material. We want to pull out the key insights.
and help you understand what these mindsets are, how they actually work, how they might be affecting you.
Okay, let's get into it. This simple belief. How does the research split it up?
It basically divides people into two distinct mindsets,
Hmm.
the fixed mindset and the growth mindset.
Right.
And the origin story is fascinating. The researcher apparently first noticed this watching 10-year-old kids
Doing what?
trying to solve some really hard puzzles.
Mm.
And their reactions to the difficulty were, well, they were starkly different.
Okay, I'm guessing some got frustrated.
Oh, sure. But others,
Yeah.
others reacted with real excitement, saying things like, I love a challenge.
Wow, seriously, 10-year-olds?
Yeah. Or even, I was hoping this would be informative. It was amazing. For these kids, getting stuck wasn't a sign they weren't smart.
It was
What?
an opportunity.
Exactly. An opportunity to learn something, to actually get smarter.
Okay, so that's the seed of the two mindsets then.
Precisely. That observation really highlights the core difference.
Yeah.
So the fixed mindset, it's the belief that your basic qualities, things like intelligence, talent, personality, they're pretty much set in stone.
Like you have a certain amount and that's it.
That's the idea. You've got your portion, and life becomes about proving you have a good portion.
So success is about showing off what you've already got.
Right. And failure is devastating because it feels like proof you're deficient. It's a reflection on your fixed amount of talent or smarts.
That sounds stressful, like you're always on trial.
It creates this constant urgency to prove yourself over and over, and crucially, to avoid situations where you might look deficient.
Okay, so what's the alternative? The growth mindset.
The growth mindset is the flip side. It's the belief that your most basic abilities can be developed
Through effort, practice.
through dedication, hard work, trying different strategies, learning from mistakes, getting help from others. Brains and talent, they're just the starting point.
Not the end point.
Not at all. And this view, it naturally creates a love of learning. It builds resilience, which, let's face it, is essential for achieving anything great.
So potential isn't fixed either.
Absolutely not. The material really emphasizes this. Potential is unknown, maybe even unknowable. You just can't predict what someone might achieve with years of passion, hard work, and good training.
It's interesting, this idea isn't completely new, is it?
Not entirely. Even Alfred Binet, the guy who invented the IQ test.
Right, you'd think he'd be all about fixed intelligence.
But he wasn't. He actually believed intelligence could be changed by education and practice. He argued against what he called the brutal pessimism of seeing it as fixed. And today, experts mostly agree. It's this constant give and take between our genes and our environment. People have this enormous capacity for lifelong learning. Our brains literally change and develop based on experience, training, personal effort.
Okay, so let's make this concrete. How do these mindsets actually shape our experience when things go wrong?
Yes.
The sources had a scenario, right?
Yeah, a pretty rough day. Imagine you get a C+ on a paper you thought you did well on.
Ouch.
Then you find a parking ticket on your car.
Ugh.
And to top it off, a friend you try to talk to seems to just brush you off.
Okay, bad day. How does the fixed mindset handle that?
Well, the reaction tends to be deeply personal. It's like these events aren't just events, they're judgments
Judgments about.
about you. The internal talk can be brutal. I'm a total failure. I'm such an idiot. See, I'm worthless and dumb.
Wow, that's harsh.
It really is. They see it as a direct measure of their competence, their worth as a person.
Yeah.
They might feel their whole life is pitiful or the world is out to get them.
And what do?
Often, not much that's constructive. The research mentions coping strategies like just doing nothing, avoiding the problem.
Like staying in bed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or getting drunk, overeating, just sort of pouting, There's this feeling of paralysis, of helplessness.
Okay, now paint the picture for the growth mindset facing that same crummy day.
It's a totally different interpretation.
Yeah.
They see these things as temporary setbacks, not labels.
So the C plus isn't I'm dumb, it's...
Okay, I need to figure out what I missed. I need to try harder or study differently next time. The parking ticket is, I got to be more careful parking. The friend, wonder if they're having a bad day. I should check in later, see what's up.
So it's focused on action, on what to do next.
Completely. Their coping is direct. Thinking about studying more effectively, paying the ticket, planning to reconnect with a friend. It's problem solving, not self-condemnation.
It really comes down to how you interpret the difficulty.
Yes, and that interpretation heavily influences how you view effort itself.
Right, you mentioned this earlier. The fixed mindset sees effort. How?
Often, negatively.
Yeah.
Almost suspiciously. Like if you have to try hard, it means you don't have the natural talent or intelligence.
Things should come easily if you're really good.
That's the underlying belief.
Yeah.
So working hard feels risky. Because if you try your absolute best and you still fail.
Then you have no excuse. It proves you just don't have it.
Exactly. The sources even mention the Calvin and Hobbes strip, where Calvin's amazed Susie Durkins is doing all that work.
Yeah, like why bother if you're smart?
It perfectly captures that fixed mindset view. But for the growth mindset,
Effort is good.
it's essential. It's necessary. It can even be exciting. Effort is what ignites ability and turns it into accomplishment.
So struggling isn't a sign of weakness.
Not at all. Struggling, making mistakes, that's just part of learning. It's how you get better.
This also changes how you think about talent and potential, right?
Massively. The fixed mindset often puts talent on this huge pedestal, and it tends to believe you can spot potential really early on.
So people focus on proving they already have the talent.
Right. They want to show they are smart, are gifted right now. But the source material just piles up examples against this.
Like who?
Oh, Darwin, Tolstoy, the golfer Ben Hogan, artists like Cindy Sherman, Jackson Pollock, Cezanne. None of them look like superstars early on.
So early performance isn't a great predictor.
Often it's not. There's that wild story about Joseph P. Kennedy telling Morton Downey Jr. he'd be a failure just based on his socks and shoes.
That's quite a judgment.
It shows how ingrained that judge potential early idea can be in a fixed mindset. But the growth mindset sees potential as something that unfolds.
It develops over time.
Exactly. With effort, with training, with learning, it takes time for potential to, as the sources say, flower.
Like that teacher, Mr. Riordan.
Yeah, he was furious about a survey suggesting a C-plus grade revealed a student's ultimate potential. His whole point was an assessment at one point tells you very little about the future.
And organizations sometimes get this.
Some do. NASA picking astronauts partly based on how they recovered from failures. Jack Welch at GE looking for runway.
Yeah.
That capacity for growth. Marina Semyonova, the ballet teacher, picking dancers energized by criticism, not crushed by it.
They're all selecting for mindset, not just current ability.
They're selecting for the potential to develop, which brings us back to failure.
In the growth mindset, it doesn't define you.
Right. It's still painful. Nobody likes failing. But it's seen as a problem to be faced, learned from, moved on from.
The football player example, Jim Marshall.
Perfect example. He ran the wrong way for a touchdown, a potentially career-ending humiliation. But he faced it, learned from it, used it to become better.
Versus the chef, Bernard Lusso.
A tragic contrast. A potential drop in his restaurant's rating was reportedly interpreted as failure, has been, a devastating fixed mindset label.
So when failure hits the fixed mindset and they don't learn, what do they do?
The research points to things like, well, shirking responsibility, making excuses, blaming others.
Cheating, even.
Sadly, yes. Studies showed students with a fixed mindset facing academic trouble were more likely to say they'd studied less.
Less. Why?
Maybe to protect their ego. If they don't try, they can't really fail based on ability. And they were more likely to consider cheating.
Yikes.
Sometimes they even look for people doing worse than them, just to feel a bit better by comparison. And blaming is huge. McEnroe blaming losses on court conditions, noises, anything but himself.
This seems connected to labels and stereotypes, too.
Absolutely. Even positive labels, like smart or talented, can ironically push someone into a fixed mindset.
How so?
They become terrified of losing the label, so they avoid challenges, anything that might make them look not smart, like Loretta, feeling she wasn't a true eagle years after one kindergarten test.
A negative stereotype.
They can be really damaging for someone in a fixed mindset. If you belong to a group stereotyped as bad at something, like women in science or math,
Then any difficulty feels like proof the stereotype is true about you.
Exactly. It makes you feel you don't belong, makes you want to withdraw. Like Frances Conley doubting herself after a condescending comment, or Julie Lynch losing interest after a teacher's criticism.
But the growth mindset response is different.
It tends to be more resilient. People fight back against the stereotype through effort and persistence. They see the challenge as external, something to overcome, not internal proof of deficiency.
Like the Polgar sisters in chess.
A prime example. Their incredible success wasn't seen as just innate talent, but the result of focused effort in a growth-oriented environment fostered by their family. Same with the colleagues' daughters thriving in math. Mindset made the difference.
Okay, let's look at some bigger arenas. How does this play out in sports? It seems like the natural talent idea is huge there.
Oh, it dominates the conversation. You constantly hear about naturals. But the sources argue pretty strongly that the growth mindset is what truly fuels sustained peak performance.
So the fixed mindset in sports.
Can lead athletes to focus just on proving the talent they think they have. They might avoid tough training or situations that could expose flaws.
McEnroe again?
He's presented as a key example. Immense talent, no doubt. But by his own admission later, he felt he didn't fulfill his potential. He'd often fold when things got really tough, blame something external. Early success perhaps led to a feeling of superiority that actually hindered his development.
So the talent was there, but the mindset limited it.
That's the argument. Now contrast that with athletes known for their growth mindset.
Michael Jordan comes to mind.
The ultimate example, maybe. Famously cut from his high school team. But that just fueled him. He was known for his relentless work ethic, constantly pushing to improve.
We're not just relying on talent.
Not at all. Babe Ruth, too. Wasn't initially a great hitter, apparently. He disciplined himself, practiced constantly. Wilma Rudolph, Jackie Joyner-Kersee overcame huge obstacles through sheer hard work.
Tiger Woods.
Revolutionized golf with his focus on fitness and practice. Even Chuck Yeager, the pilot everyone called a natural, said his skill came from hard work, really a lifetime's learning experience.
So it's about character or heart.
That's often the language used, right? Billie Jean King, Jackie Joyner-Kersee, again, that ability to dig deep when things are difficult, that is the growth mindset in action. Jack Nicklaus missing only one crucial shot his whole career. Tiger focusing on being the best me. Mia Hamm talking mental toughness. It's all about continuous effort and development.
Okay, let's shift to business. How do mindsets affect leadership?
Fundamentally, according to the sources, fixed mindset leaders. They often seem focused on proving their genius.
So they surround themselves with
Worshippers, often. People who won't challenge them. Critics might get exiled. And sometimes they'll sacrifice the long-term health of the company for short-term wins that make them look good, boost their ego.
examples.
The material points to Lee Iacocca, initially a hero at Chrysler, but maybe lost touch later, focused more on image than investing in the future. Albert Dunlap, Chainsaw Al, seemed obsessed with profit, purely as a measure of his own worth, even inflating numbers.
Enron.
Kenneth Lay and Jeffrey Skilling fostered this culture of supposed elitism, of being the smartest guys in the room, which meant they couldn't hear warnings or admit mistakes. And research on brutal bosses suggests they often put down subordinates just to feel superior.
And the companies themselves reflect this.
Yeah, they can become these genius with 1,000 helpers models. They don't invest in developing employees because the focus is on the leader's fixed talent, like the contrast drawn between AMP, which stagnated, and Kroger, which focused on adapting and growing.
So growth-minded leaders build different kinds of companies.
Totally different. They focus on developing themselves and their people. They're open to hearing the truth, even when it's tough. They confront shortcomings. They build cultures where learning is valued.
Like Jack Welch at GE.
He emphasized finding people with the capacity for growth, that runway. He opened up dialogue, challenged elitism. Lou Gerstner turning IBM around by focusing on culture change and listening to customers. Anne Mulcahy at Xerox, facing disaster, went into incredible learning mode, focused on her people.
And the research backs this up.
Yes. Studies show growth mindset organizations view employees more positively. Employees feel more collaborative, committed, innovative. They're seen as having greater potential for management themselves. It fosters talent throughout the company.
Okay, this is huge. Let's talk relationships. How do mindsets affect how we connect with partners, friends?
Profoundly. This might be one of the most relatable areas. In a fixed mindset, relationships often come with this expectation of instant perfection.
The soulmate idea, meant to be.
Exactly. Instant perfect compatibility. And the partner, or the relationship itself, becomes a test, a reflection of your worth.
If there's conflict, or differences?
It's seen as a major red flag, proof it's not meant to be, or that your partner is fundamentally flawed, or maybe even that you are.
That sounds like a recipe for disaster.
It can lead to seeing your partner as the enemy or getting into really destructive competition. And coping with rejection or a breakup often involves bitterness, blame, even wanting revenge.
Right, she took my worth with her.
Yeah, or if I had to choose between me being happy and him being miserable. Those kinds of thoughts reflect that fixed mindset pain. The sources mention couples breaking up because they felt a right relationship shouldn't need work, or people constantly finding flaws and ending things, labeling each other instead of solving problems, competing instead of supporting. Rejection feels like a permanent verdict. I'm unlovable.
So the growth mindset approach to relationships, it's not about never having problems.
Not at all. It's about understanding that good relationships take effort. Differences need to be worked through together. The focus is on mutual development, helping each other grow.
Conflict is seen differently.
As a problem to be solved collaboratively, not as a sign of doom. And when relationships end, while it's still painful, the focus is on understanding, forgiving, learning from it to have better relationships in the future.
Like the examples of the man learning about communication.
Yeah.
Or finding happiness after divorce.
Yes. Or Nicole Conto's dancing solo at her wedding reception, reclaiming her narrative. It's about learning to address issues directly, make requests, like in the birthday present story, instead of letting resentment build.
This applies to friendships too.
Definitely. A fixed mindset can lead you to use friends for validation or feel threatened by their success, that my success is your failure idea.
Whereas growth-minded friends,
Support each other's development. Offer genuine, process-focused help in tough times, like asking what went wrong on the exam. Do you understand the material? Not just empty platitudes. The advice is to avoid friendships where you constantly feel judged or diminished.
and shyness. How does mindset play into that?
The material links shyness often to the fixed mindset's fear of social judgment, fear of making a mistake, looking awkward, so you avoid social situations.
But a shy person with a growth mindset,
They might still feel nervous, sure, but they're more likely to see social interaction as a challenge to embrace, an opportunity to learn and connect. Their focus shifts from how am I being judged to how can I engage with this person? And often the shyness lessens over time. Like Scott Wetzler's client, George, who learned to talk to his coworker once he focused on developing a connection, not just worrying about her judgment.
and bullying, that's connected too.
Yes, the sources link the bully's motivation often to the fixed mindset's need for superiority. Putting others down makes them feel better, establishes status. It's based on that some people are superior, some are inferior belief.
And for the victim.
If they have a fixed mindset, especially without support, they can internalize that judgment. Start believing I deserve this or I am inferior. They might fantasize about revenge, like the tragic Columbine example.
While a growth mindset victim,
Is less likely to personalize it so deeply. They might try to understand the bully or seek ways to change the situation, maybe even educate them. This is why anti-bullying programs that focus on changing the school culture from judgment to development, supporting victims, and empowering bystanders can be so effective.
it really seems like these mindsets get set pretty early. Where do they actually come from?
Well, the research strongly suggests they aren't just something you're born with. They're heavily shaped by the messages we get.
Especially from.
Parents, teachers, coaches, those really crucial figures in our lives.
So every little interaction sends a signal?
Pretty much. It's either sending a fixed mindset message, you have permanent traits and I'm judging them, or it's sending a growth mindset message. You're developing and I'm invested in helping you grow. And kids, they're like little sponges for these messages.
Okay, this brings us to praise. It seems natural to praise kids for being smart, right? To boost their confidence.
It seems natural and it's certainly tempting. But the studies highlighted are really counterintuitive here. Praising intelligence or talent, you're so smart, you're a natural, actually sends a fixed mindset message.
How does that hurt confidence?
It makes their confidence fragile. Because if success means I'm smart, then any struggle, any failure must mean I'm not smart. They become afraid of challenges that might expose them as not being inherently gifted.
Like the examples of the fifth grader avoiding harder math, or the college student crushed by a B+ lens.
Exactly. It links their worth to effortless perfection.
So what should we praise?
The process. Praise the effort they put in, the strategies they tried, the choices they made, their persistence, the learning they achieved.
Like, you really worked hard on that.
Yes. Or, I liked how you tried different ways to solve that. Or, that project looks tough. You're going to learn a lot by tackling it. This teaches them what it takes to succeed. It shows them their abilities grow through action. Even Haim Janot, the child development expert, came to this conclusion.
And be careful about praising speed or just getting it right.
Right. Praising speed or a lack of mistakes. You did that so fast. Perfect. No errors. Can also backfire, making kids shy away from challenging tasks where they will inevitably struggle and make mistakes.
How adults react to a child's failure is also key then.
Absolutely critical. Just telling them they were robbed or downplaying it, oh, that game didn't matter anyway. Or even just saying, but you have ability, isn't helpful.
So what's a growth-oriented response?
Acknowledge the disappointment, sure, but then focus on learning. Like Elizabeth the gymnast's father discussing her performance, what went well, what specific things she needed to work on for next time. It's about constructive analysis, not just soothing or labeling.
This connects to constructive criticism.
Yes, it needs to help the child understand how to fix something, how to improve, not just label them as deficient. Contrast Billy's father yelling about his stupid homework with suggesting specific strategies or resources.
And then there's conditional love. That sounds rough.
It can be really damaging. When parents seem to value their children only when they meet certain fixed standards, get the top grades, get into the elite school, it powerfully installs a fixed mindset.
The message is, we love you, but only if.
You achieve these specific things that prove your fixed worth. The stories about Sandy's and Mark's parents prioritizing Harvard over their kids' actual interests or well-being are tough to read. Or John McEnroe's father pushing so hard for tennis success that it perhaps diminished his son's love for the game.
Tiger Woods' father is presented differently.
As ambitious? Yes, but also focused on fostering Tiger's love for golf and emphasizing the process of continuous improvement, which aligns more with growth.
And kids pick up these messages and pass them on.
It's quite striking. The sources mention second graders giving growth-oriented advice they'd heard, or even how children who've suffered abuse might react differently to a crying baby based on the fixed mindset messages they internalized.
Okay, so after all this, the million-dollar question, can we change our mindset? Are we stuck?
And the emphatic answer from the research is, no, you're not stuck. Mindsets are not permanent. They feel like a core part of personality. But you absolutely can change them.
Just knowing about them helps.
That's often the very first step. Just understanding the difference between fixed and growth can start the process.
But it's not like flipping a switch, I assume.
Definitely not. The material is clear. Change takes commitment. It takes persistence. It's not just learning a new skill. It's shifting a fundamental belief system about yourself and your abilities.
So where do you start? How do you actually do it?
The first, maybe surprising, step is to acknowledge that we all have both mindsets. We're a mixture. Nobody is pure growth mindset all the time. The key is to figure out what triggers your fixed mindset. When does it show up? What situations make you feel judged or defensive?
And what does it sound like, that inner voice?
Yeah, what's its persona? Does it fill your head with anxious thoughts under pressure? Tell you you're not good enough? Make you want to blame someone else? The sources suggest even giving it a name helps create distance, like Gertrude or dumping Dan, whatever works for you.
Naming your fixed mindset. Interesting.
It helps you recognize it when it pipes up so you can consciously choose a different response. Understand its triggers, hear its voice, and learn to manage it rather than letting it run the show.
And the other side is actively cultivating the growth mindset.
Exactly. It's about consciously shifting your focus away from judgment, am I good enough, will I look stupid, towards learning and development. What can I learn here? How can I improve? What's a different strategy I could try?
So embracing challenges instead of avoiding them.
Yes. Persisting when things get hard. Seeing criticism as useful feedback, not condemnation. And, importantly, finding inspiration in others' success, not feeling threatened by it.
But just intending to do this isn't enough, right?
No, concrete plans are crucial. The sources really stress this. Vowing to be more growth-minded is nice, but you need specific, vivid plans.
Like
Scheduling specific time to practice that skill you find difficult, or planning out exactly how you'll have that tough conversation in your relationship, step by step, making it real and actionable.
the material gave examples for specific tough situations too.
It did. Dilemmas like a star athlete facing pro pressure, feeling stuck in a low-level job, dealing with denial in a marriage, helping a child shift their fixed mindset like the kid who quit chess, or the daughter getting an ulcer from pressure, or even managing anger.
And the growth mindset approach in each case was
To shift perspective away from judgment or blame, focus on what could be learned or developed, and then take concrete, planned actions instead of just reacting or avoiding.
It really sounds like an ongoing journey, not a destination.
It absolutely is. Maintaining change needs continuous effort. It's easy to slip back into old fixed mindset habits, especially when you're stressed or tired. The goal is this gradual shift, moving your default setting from that judge and be judged world to a learn and help learn world.
And beware the false growth mindset.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
A key warning. Just saying, oh yeah, I have a growth mindset, doesn't make it true. Real change means acknowledging your actual fixed mindset triggers and responses and actively working on them when they show up. It requires honesty.
But it is possible to teach this stuff.
Yes. The research is really encouraging here. Mindsets can be taught, and it can make a big difference. Workshops that explain how the brain grows with learning brain plasticity combined with exercise.
Like the Brainology program.
Exactly. Those have shown real positive effects on students' motivation and grades. Similar training for managers has improved their ability to coach and develop their teams, shifting the whole organizational culture. Change is definitely possible.
Wow. Okay, so we've really dug deep into this power of mindsets today, seeing how just one core belief about your abilities shapes, well, pretty much everything.
Yeah, how you react to challenges, how you see effort, talent, failure, and how it plays out in school, sports, business, relationships, all stemming from that initial belief.
We've explored how these mindsets get formed, those messages we receive, especially when we're young.
And crucially, we've seen that they aren't fixed traits themselves. Mindsets can change. It takes work, though.
Yeah, it's a journey. Recognizing your fixed mindset triggers, understanding that persona, and then actively choosing growth-embracing challenges, learning, putting in the effort.
It really offers a different lens, doesn't it?
Mm.
Moving away from constantly judging yourself and others towards a focus on development and potential.
So for you listening,
Hmm.
what does this all spark? Can you think about your own mindset triggers? Where does that fixed voice show up most strongly for you?
And maybe, just maybe, what's one small area this week where you could consciously try on a growth mindset perspective? See how it feels.
Remember, as the sources make clear, it's an ongoing practice, this journey towards a true growth mindset, but one with huge potential.
Definitely food for thought.